no updates, no nothing to tell you about. So welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Ooh, could be in for a wet end to the race. That's an interesting one. That might put my plans in place then. So we see the R&D. We didn't upgrade everything in the last video. We just we kept it to the bare minimum. I think. See, if I do that, then Williams are still gonna have a pretty bloody good engine behind them. So.
What do you think of this one?
They want me to upgrade. Carl wants me to upgrade that for them. I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it. I've given plenty of aero. I've given plenty of power. All right, we'll give him a bit more power. There we go. That could come back and bite me on the arse. That could. And then what we'll do is we'll give him. Where is it? We'll give him that one. And then that'll be it. That'll be it. No more after that. So season is over as far as we're concerned. We've won the championship. We won that so far back that it's last year. Lance Stroll in second, Vettel third, and Ocon, Perez, Force India having a great season. Scored 300 points. Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, and Kimi Raikkonen. Your top 10. Stoffel Van Dorn. He's still yet to score this season. Come on, Stoffel! Everyone's backing Stoffel now. And you can see we got 13 victories on the season so far. I think it's 13. It might actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 13. So that's pretty good going. So we're gonna have to get practiced, and then we'll get qualified. We'll see you for the race.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Paul. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Paul lines up on pole position, with Lance Stroll alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Ocon, Max Verstappen and Hülkenberg. Vettel, they've taken a grid penalty. Sainz, Ericsson and Kimi Raikkonen. Leclerc, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo. Van Dorn, Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Roman Grosjean. Hartley and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
The engineer's gonna say nothing. Okay, cool. Yeah, if it sounds like I'm a bit sick, I am a bit sick actually. I'm not very well today. It's gonna be a one-stop race as it normally is. We thought about qualifying on the soft tyre, but then we went with the super soft option to get that out of the way. What I'm going to try and do though, I'm going to try and extend the super soft as long as possible, so that when the rain starts we can just switch over and be on the right tyre. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can get that plan off and underway. We threw a new setup on this car in practice 3, and she stuck to the track a lot better than she did with the previous setup. So we'll get out there, let's go do this, and let's see what happens during the race. So here we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 5 red lights are out and we are off and underway in Sao Paulo, as we get a pretty, well, we actually get a terrible start, don't we? Because Lance has mugged us in the first corner, and he's mugged us well and truly in the first corner as we go around the Subida del... No, that's the Curva del Sol, down the Subida del Lago for the first time, and it's, well, pretty much as you were, really. We're right behind Lance Stroll, with the 2 Force Indias of Perez and Ocon right behind us as we head into the Ferradura. And look at the car just sticking like glue through Ferradura. We almost get it wrong going back through the field now. Here's Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton side by side into Ferradura. That's a bit brave there, Fernando. And why not? Oh, but Lewis is going to keep it on the outside. Good boy, Lewis. That's how we drive it around here, into the Pico de Plateau, and up to there. But look at that view. That is a fantastic view, and still side by side Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton into the Monero, and down to Young Cow. Lewis Hamilton's going to have the corner for Young Cow, and he's going to take, but no, Fernando Alonso is going to stay there. Good. This is Mercedes against Renault. Up the hill to the Senna S. I think they made contact there as well. Why not? That's going to get a bit tasty. I think he's going to get the job done this time. Into the Senna S is Lewis Hamilton. And, yep, through he goes. But that's going to leave Alonso open to Daniel Ricciardo right behind him. In fact, let's go to Daniel Ricciardo. The other McLaren's there, Stoffel Van Dorn. As we go... look back at the rear view, and let's see if Ricciardo gets that move done, and he does. So in the space of 1 lap, Fernando loses 2 positions to the Mercedes and the Red Bull of Hamilton and Ricciardo respectively, who go on board with myself. And you can see on the certainly on the sides of the camera there, so that sides of the car, it looked like it was already starting to rain, which is very early if that's what I said. Yes, in fact, there it is. You can see the drops of rain on the side of the head restraint there. So now this looks like well, that looks like, is that Nico Hülkenberg? It's one of the Renaults. I can definitely tell it's a Renault. The other Renault's in front of it. We're going to see a bit of Renault arguing here, as it is Sainz going to take Hülkenberg, and it is into the Senna S. Oh, that was a bit cheeky. Very cheeky indeed, that one. Oh, that's a good move. And that's Nico Hülkenberg up in position. He might lose, sorry, that Carlos Sainz up in position, I do apologise. He might lose another one, Nico Hülkenberg, to the Ferrari Kimi Raikkonen, as we go back on board with the reigning world champion, myself. Into the Ferradura. We're really close to Lance Stroll here. We might try it. Oh, that's a bit late, and a bit contact between the 2 Williamses as well. Oh, that was a bit naughty. And getting a bit of a power slide out of the Pico de Plateau as well, as we head through the Monero down to Young Cow. Bloody hell, it's been really exciting here already, and we haven't even got start. Well, we have got started. We've done 3 laps. We're coming up to start lap 4, but it's just all kicking off here as we go back to the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg, with Kimi Raikkonen behind him, and I think this is going to be the writing on the wall for Nico Hülkenberg. That Ferrari's got some grunt in the straight line. He's also got DRS as well, and that's the proverbial candy from the German baby there. Good move by the Iceman. The Iceman cometh through the field as we go back to myself on board through the Subida del Lago, and now up to Ferradura. Ferradura in the dry is probably one of the best corners in the world.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
As it goes down and up and down again into the Pico de Plateau.
Got that confirmed.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, we're still recovering. Done this commentary a few days after the race, and we're still recovering from that horrible viral infection that I had. Whoa, big slide out of the Monero. You don't want to do too many of that. That is not the way that this race is going to be ending for us if we do too much of that sliding as we power up the hill out of Young Cow. Back on board with, this is Carlos Sainz in the Renault, so I imagine we're going to see a pass here by Kimi Raikkonen. If he is, he's a long way back. That's going to be ambitious if he tries it from there, but he's got DRS. Well, I'll tell you what. Shut up, commentator. That's shades of Schumacher Montoya. Give some of that one. Yay! There goes Raikkonen into P... Well, I haven't a clue. I honestly haven't got a clue. That's going to be about P5 with Charles Leclerc tries to come back. Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg almost forces him on the grass, and you see the rain falling properly now. But Charles Leclerc is going to give it him back as good as he gets. And let's move the Monegasque driver up a place as we go back through the field. And that's Fernando Alonso there. Oh, and he's just done Lewis Hamilton. Must have locked it up into Sabina de Largo. The Mercedes are struggling. And that is what we like to see, because if we want to go to Mercedes next year, that's where we're going to be looking as we come back on board myself. No slide this time out of the Monero on lap number 5. Out of Young Cow up the Sabina de Largo. Excuse me, that's good Vimto, that is. As we come up to the Senna S, named after probably the greatest Brazilian racing driver of all time.
We're boxing this lap.
Not gone, but
we're leading our teammate by 3.9 seconds.
Get that right through the Curva del Sol. That corner in the rain, I'll tell you now, that is going to be an absolute nightmare as we go back through the field. That's Daniel Ricciardo coming up to the back of Nico Hülkenberg. It's going to be into the Sabina de Largo. Around the outside of the Sabina de Largo. Why not? You gotta be kidding. We're seeing passing moves left, right and centre. He's going to have the corner through the Ferrador as we go to this lovely aerial shot from the helicopter. And I think, a bit of slidey out of Ferradora, but Nico Hülkenberg is staying with the Aussie. But I think he may just, there you go. He had to give that up, because if he didn't give that up, that was going to end in a nasty crash. It'll put Nico Hülkenberg back in the clutches.
Remember, box this lap.
Doing?
Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
Come on! I know conditions are tough, but not that tough, surely. Now, they wanted us to pit there, but we're not going to as we go on board with the two Force Indias now. This is Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez. Looks like Perez is going to line up Ocon for a pass on third. Ocon don't have DRS off Stroll, so it's going to be candy for the baby round the outside of the Stella S. And why not? That's going to be P3 for Sergio Perez, who's got in close proximity Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Oh, great. Max Verstappen behind Esteban Ocon at Brazil. Like that's never happened before. Although that time it was Ocon behind Verstappen as Perez gets the move done. Oh no, Ocon's going to hold on to him. He's not going to give this up, is the Pink Panther. So Ocon, I think Perez got to go around the outside of Ferrador. He gets it done that time. It gets Ocon all out of shape as well. As we carry on with our charge through the Monero. You see now we're having to tippy-toe with the rain coming down. The idea here
it
is
should be a few laps at least before you start feeling too many tyre issues. They seem in good condition for the time being.
Just vamped out while Jeff told us about the rain. But we want to go as long as these soft tyres as we can, so that we can just go straight onto the Inters. Note that everyone else pits for softs as we see Max Verstappen line up Esteban Ocon into the Senna S. And unlike this year, it's going to be an absolute clean pass. It's going to be a repeat, but just a flip position. I tell you what, there's no contact this time as Max Verstappen goes through and he passes Esteban Ocon for P4 on the grid, and the young Frenchman is quickly finding he's going backwards as opposed to forwards with that Force India. But he's going to come back on Max Verstappen, out of the Sabina de Largo, but I think Verstappen's going to get that done. Forces him wide, but he's going to stay there, is the Frenchman. Yeah, I think he wants to give that up because around the outside goes Max the Dutchman, and that's P4 for him. As we come back to myself, you see the rain, it's really properly falling. Now this is when the rain was supposed to come, but it's too early for the intermediate tyres yet as we head up at a young cow. And I think any moment now we might be heading back through the field to see Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel, because they were pretty close on the track there. Let's see if the Brazilian, yes, here we go. Perfectly cute there by our Brazilian friend there. As Esteban comes, I tell you what, those two kinks going up to the centre S at a young cow, in the dry they're fantastic, in the wet they're treacherous. And here comes the 4-time champion of the world, and it's as clean as you like round the outside of the centre S. But Esteban will have DRS, so I assume we'll see something go down into the Sabina de Largo. If we do, Marcus Ericsson behind. That is Marcus Ericsson, folks, not Charles Leclerc, but Marcus Ericsson might get involved here. And no, Esteban thinks better of it, and he'll stay in P6 as Vettel moves up to P5. Back to myself now, lap number 9. Halfway in this race already, can you believe that, folks? Halfway, and a lap around here just passes as quick as you like. I mean, we did what I thought was an absolute killer lap in qualifying with a 1:05.5.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy. The pit window is open. Pit window currently open.
That was I don't think I've ever done a better lap in my life, as we see Marcus Ericsson now, and yeah, you can probably guess what's going to happen here. Esteban Ocon is probably going to get passed by the Sauber driver. See if this happens. It's going to be around the outside of the centre. Oh no, it's good. No, Ocon slams the door right in his face. Says no entry. You can't come in if your name's not down. Name's not down, you can't come through. So if I expect Marcus to have another go here down into the Sabina de Largo, he's going to go around the outside. Why not? There you go. Try that move on for size there, Esteban. See how you like that one. You got Kimi Räikkönen right behind him. As we head up to the Ferradura, still side by side. I think Ocon was on the grass a little bit, and Ericsson's going to get him. That's P6. Marcus Ericsson, that's his name. As we come out of young cow. These tyres that were on 10 laps old, and we're just contemplating it. Well, do we box now or do we not? And we're just going to stay out. These tyres are going to be absolutely doing their head in.
This light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Dries are the best tyres at the moment, if you can believe that. It's hard to believe that dries are the best tyres in these conditions, but dries apparently are the best tyres.
There's static over the radio. Say again.
We're trying all things to get communication through as we go on board with Sergio Perez now, chasing down Lance Stroll. This has got tasty, but recently Lance has been having a case of the jitters on the brakes into tough braking zones, and yeah, wouldn't you know it? There you go. Case in point. Lance Stroll can't cope with the big pressure situations under braking, and that's Perez into second place. Ahead of our Canadian teammate as we go through the hairpin. You see it's so treacherous. I cannot begin to tell you how treacherous it is out there right now, because you want to put the power down. If you put the power down, the car's
situation is pretty touch and go right now. We think the slicks may still be quicker, but it's very close, and you're going to struggle to keep them in the temperature window. The Inters are ready when you need them.
Case in point, up the kinks up to the centre F. You want to put the power down, but it's just so treacherous out there. There you go, power sliding to the centre F.
13.2 seconds.
It doesn't help when we're on tyres that are done on 12 laps as opposed to the 6 or 7 that it should have done originally.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
We've decided that we're going to box this lap. I think it's time to go on to the intermediates. We'll make that choice, so we're going to sneeze in a second. We nearly sneezed so hard, excuse me, but we nearly went off the track. as we see Kimi Raikkonen lining up Esteban Ocon into the Subida del Lago round the outside. Go for it, Kimi. The Iceman cometh. He's going to move into 7th position ahead of the Frenchman, and that move was done even before the Ferradura. So Esteban Ocon seems to be going backwards as opposed to forwards.
DRS has been disabled by the stewards. DRS will
finally,
be offline.
DRS has been disabled.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
And a new strategy brings in on this lap to change the tyres onto the intermediate. So our plan has worked, but Stroll and Perez have also done the same thing here. So we all had the same idea as we now pit out of the lead. Let's see if Stroll and Perez do the same as we come to our pit stall here. 50 clicks an hour into the pit lane as we get serviced. What a stop this is going to be. Fantastic stop, and we're going to be out even before Lance has come into the pits. And it's Sergio in for his stop off the soft tyres. Had to wait for Lance there, onto the intermediate tyres for him, as we see who else is coming out here. That's going to be Marcus Ericsson. So there's Perez in second place. Well, it will be a net second. And look at that! Sebastian Vettel has jumped Lance Stroll! Whoa! Who expected that one? As we go on board with us into the Ferradura, and now you can see the change in the conditions, because we are absolutely trying to get the car slowed down, get it turned in as well, but it just won't turn in sometimes. Out of the Bica de Plato we go, and up into the hairpin here. Usually we're flying around that hairpin, but not today. You can see it through the Monero coming now. Look at that, how careful we have to be there as we go into Young Cow. And so we're still in the lead. We've got Kimi Raikkonen and Charles Leclerc, who haven't pitted yet. They're I don't know if they're trying to extend it, or if they're trying to do something really stupid, but we don't know what they're up to. As we go back to the Monegasque driver Charles Leclerc coming into the pit lane, and you can see, whoa, big power slide in the pit lane for Charles Leclerc. Oh, Kimi Raikkonen in front of him. If he looked back and saw that, he'd be absolutely proud with his rally in the background. Kimi's going to come out in front of Charles as we go back through the field here. This is, who's this? That's Brendan Hartley. Here's someone we haven't seen a lot in career. Brendan Hartley's having a fight with Fernando Alonso. They're both on the intermediate tyres. And coming out now, that's Leclerc coming out the pit lane. So Leclerc's going to join this fight if he gets up to speed into the Subida del Lago, and is he there? He's right there. So Charles Leclerc is coming to this fight between Alonso and Hartley. Oh, I got a funny story to tell you about a Kiwi, a Monegasque, a Spaniard, and it's unfolding right now as Leclerc goes round the outside of Ferradura on the wets. That don't surprise anyone. As back on board with us, look at that shot. That is a shot and a half. And really nothing much happened in the last few laps, so we're just vamping here so you can see a few clips of ourselves just to show how treacherous the conditions are. This is lap 17, and whoa, big slide on the way up to the center S. That could have ended our race absolutely. As we go back now, and we got Max Verstappen here. Yes, is that looks like to be Marcus Ericsson in front of us, and we should have Carlos Sainz and Kimi Raikkonen in close attendance as well. Yes, there they are. Now there's no DRS here, so Max is going to have to do this on his own, but that Renault has got the grunt. Let's see if he can get the job done. Oh, Marcus all out of shape. I think Verstappen put him under some pressure there. He's going to get him up the inside of the Curva del Sol. Why not? Get you some there, Mr. Verstappen. But Ericsson's coming back around the outside of Subida del Lago. And well, in fact, he's lost out now to Sainz and Raikkonen behind him. So that's unlucky there for Mr. Ericsson. He was having a good race up until that point. But as we go back to ourselves, we're coming out the last corner of the Young Cow. It's up the hill. We haven't won at this form for a while, but we're going to feather it through the last 2 corners. They're not really corners, and we're going to win in front of the passionate Brazilian fans. Get in there, my son.
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
It's a well-deserved victory for Williams then after that breathtaking Grand Prix. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And now it's time to wind down and celebrate after that fantastic Grand Prix. Here they come, your top 3, out onto the podium. Poole increases their championship lead. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities, and he did so with a lot of skill.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Yeah, so it wasn't easy at times, but we got the W ahead of Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel. Lance Stroll dropped to 4th. What a scrub. Ocon, he had a great race going and he dropped all the way to 13th. What happened to Ocon? What the hell happened to Ocon? No DNFs, which I find very surprising as well. Found that very shocking. Stoffel. Poor Stoffel. Oh, well, I think that just about wraps it up then, so let's go and see if Claire's wet and miserable. And then we'll head to wrap it up.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
Yeah, it weren't really easy, was it?
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track,
nah,
does it?
It doesn't get much better. They got the best fans in the world, I think the Brazilians do.
You must be happy with the result today.
Yeah, I am a bit. I think the strategy is what brought it together.
The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
Obviously, rain. It's tough in the rain, but we'll give it the showman answer.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
I'll no comment that, because to be fair, it was only really Ocon.
Great, well that's everything.
And no one really cares about Ocon. Fantastic. Just get a bit of Vimto down me, try and save my voice. Sweet.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
Shut up, Jeff.
We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to
I haven't done an invite
participate
event in a
before the end of this
while.
weekend.
Maybe because it's all the same stuff that you get invited to. Right then. Let's have a look. I think for our final upgrade, we'll upgrade that for them. There we go. That should give them all a nice little thing to be working on. They've got some power. They've got some aero. So I think that's all that needs to be done there. Now let's see how everything's going here. Looks like everything's going to be alright for Abu Dhabi. And Lance has not quite clinched second place. I think it's a given, but not quite, shall we say. Enough said. Come on, Stoffel. Everyone's now cheering for Stoffel to do something good in Abu Dhabi. Who knows, he'll win Abu Dhabi. That would be... Excuse me. Ugh, we've died. Yeah, that would be the funny thing if Stoffel won Abu Dhabi. But that'll do it. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you for the season 3 finale at Abu Dhabi.